All right, we are live. We had a crazy night last night, and we're gonna keep it going today. Here, we'll begin with the Lord's Prayer. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not to temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Okay, we're gonna do. I had to think about this. I wanted to put the comment thread for this webinar in the OMG Wave Facebook group, and we're just basically not going to do that because I want you to be able to ask your questions, your kind of sensitive questions about Amazon or things that are out there. And so, and Liz has this. In case you guys haven't noticed, Liz is just incredible, by the way, at answering questions. Liz, thank you, by the way, so much. You've like single-handedly. Sorry, other people have helped a lot, but I'm just talking about you in a vacuum for a second. That you have single-handedly made the OMG Amazon Plus community group. You've just made it over the top valuable by just getting in there day after day and answering questions. Thank you so much for doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's important that people get their questions answered by somebody that's actually doing it. So that's kind of what I like to give back to people, and it's kind of like infectious. Like I know Susan's been in there, and even Kev got in there a little bit this week. So it's kind of exciting to see other people that are higher level that are actually doing that.
Tyler too.
Yeah, Tyler's a beast.
Tyler made $150,000 last month, and he's in there. Susan's been answering questions. Kev, who you guys are about to meet, this is going to be real.
Bitler's in there.
Yeah, Bitler, hell yeah. It's just nuts. Like we have just person after person after person. By the way, Bitler just hit another six-figure month on Amazon. I just got a screen capture from him. I should actually send that out. I have all these five-figure per month and six-figure per month earnings reports stacked out that I haven't sent out yet, and I want to. I just haven't done it yet. Okay, so it's a special day. Of course, the main course here is going to be to answer your questions today. Boy, a lot. So we're going to a little bit recap some of the things that happened during the Amazon or during the OMG Way $100,000 orientation acceleration hangout last night because we had some big news. We also were kind of teasing some stuff. I imagine people have some questions and are really wondering about some of the techniques that we teased and so forth, and we can answer those questions today. So that's exciting. We are unveiling an extremely powerful service. I've personally gone in the field and visited with Kev and Jin Chan at their warehouse. This is going to be something. It's an OMG exclusive. Okay, they have their reasons why, but this is an OMG exclusive. Kev and Jin are OMGers. We're very, very excited to have Kev Chan with us today. Kev, are you there?
Yep, I'm here.
And really, really excited to have you here, not just to unveil your service, but also Kev, again, like just so many OMGers, extremely generous person. He's going to be willing. By the way, I think congrats are in order. What was your figure for last month, Kev?
We just we hit over 700K this past month.
Man, rubles. That is so big. Guys, 700,000 rubles. That's an amazing figure. Or was it Chinese currency, or is that
700,000? Yeah. I'm sorry.
700 RMB, 700K RMB, right?
No, it's $700,000. Congratulations, Kev. That's an enormous number. So what I want to do, the comment thread is going to be right here in the OMG NHB team Facebook group. Oh, I'm actually not in the OMG team NHB, whatever it is. All right, so I'm going to go over. Here's where the official comment thread is: the OMG NHB team Facebook group. So I'm going to first of all, I'm going to congratulate Kev and Jen, and I want to welcome Kevin I'd love to have everybody welcome Kev to our event and congratulate Kev and Jen. That's guys, that's a huge number, just an enormous number, and they're using really different techniques than what you're seeing out there. Stuff that they're working behind the scenes on with Liz, stuff that they're innovating on their own. So let me see, and I do kind of want to try to get it. So the one thing I don't want to have to monitor the OMG Way thread. Hopefully nobody's posting in here. Yeah. Let's see. Good. Okay. Liz had posted in there. Liz Skelcher had posted in there. Okay. Good. All right. I'm not trying to be a thread Nazi. I'm just trying to because that way, if it's just in one place, we can monitor the comments and so forth. Elena's on. I see her. I see Shelly. I see Marilyn, Jesse, Kathy, Susan, Sherry. Actually, Jesse had a question on where our Amazon training is. Let me cover that for a second. I think he posted that in the OMG Masters thread or something like that. So it's OMG Machines. So I'm going to go into Breakthrough. This is going to be the same if you are in. This is going to be the same if you are in Project Breakthrough as if you're in Project J or Project X. So the places where you're going to get your Amazon specific training, of course, the SEO is in its own place. There's the March, April, May Mastery page, which has got this webinar right here with me and Jack. And then it's got these webinars here with me and Liz and Jack and Mike Bittler and Mandy was on those webinars. So that's right here in your March, April, May Mastery page. And then I scroll down here. Of course, your core OMG free traffic bears on Amazon, as we know, but that, it also bears on other things. So we have it in its own section. And then we scroll down here. There's a whole Amazon and e-commerce section. By the way, just got an earnings report today from Brad Mabry. Congratulations, Brad. Has hit 25K in profit each the last couple of months and is looking like he's going to have an even better month this month. But anyways, the Amazon training is right here. And just lots and lots of great stuff. Remember, oh my goodness, Liz, everybody is freaking out over your new product sourcing strategy. It's been incredible. Actually, I have an update for you, Liz. You're gonna be proud. Check this out. Boom. Can you see my screen? Am I sure?
No, not yet. Oh, wow, that's awesome.
Isn't that great?
That's fantastic. That's like first how many? 4 days on Amazon?
4 days on Amazon. This is era stuff. I posted this, guys. This is the crazy thing. Liz, this retail arbitrage method that you're using, it's so real. And I actually just got another earnings report in from Nick last night, who he's just getting started. I think he hit like 500 pounds for pounds sterling for the month of June. But anyways, the crazy thing about this, guys, Ira started. She got help from another OMGer, Ty. Ty has appeared on some of our webinars, and when I say help, I mean a lot of help. They went in the field, and Ira also watched. It was really really helpful for her. Watch Liz's, well, a lot of Liz's training, but especially the brand new product sourcing strategy. And a lot of this, one of the main sourcing strategies to take advantage of retail arbitrage. So powerful. We're going to talk about that more on this event. I know people are excited about that. Um, but as of a week, like not this Monday, but the Monday before, Ira had no products, none whatsoever. No, she hadn't sourced products. She hadn't gone and looked at sourcing products. She just started from a flat start. She didn't have a Seller Central account. And this is the crazy thing is, Liz, she only bought $450 worth of stuff. So it's kind of
That's
wacky.
awesome.
Yeah, she sold
Yeah.
a lot more inventory, and she actually just went out last night. The cool thing is, a lot of the items that she sold out on, she just restocked them last night. She just went out. She's like, "Well, that's sold out. I'll go ahead and buy more of it."
Yeah, that's actually it's kind of an advanced tactic. It's called, like, in retail arb they call it replenishables. Once you get a product that sells really well, you just keep replenishing it, and you pretty much have like a cash cow sitting there. And that's what majority of my actual retail arbitrage involves, is like not so much new stuff, but things that I have experience with.
Yeah, it's Because here's the thing, Liz. When you go to the bank, I mentioned this during the hangout webinar last night. Like when you go to the bank and you deposit your checks, they just take them. They're not like, wait a second, this retail arbitrage money, you know,
Right.
was
It's
this
no good to
a
us.
product, right? Like, did you use the proper guru approved tactics for this money? We don't accept this stuff. Get out of here, you hooligan.
And I think it's kind of funny because Kevin also has the same mindset because obviously I've become good friends with him, and I'm pretty sure we can talk about an adventure we had in China where Kevin came across some really good stuff, and he almost missed his plane just to get all that stuff actually in inventory, but
Oh, you did?
it wound up.
So what was the story? So what happened?
So there's this one area we went shopping in, and there's these like it was like masks you wear. You know, you see sometimes in the Chinese subways, those people wearing masks because people are sick.
Yeah.
But we're flying back, so I bought like three of them, and I gave one to for myself, one to Liz, and one to Jen.
Yeah.
And then we're back in the hotel, and I don't know, it's a habit. Once you've done retail arbitrage, which it's where I've started too, I just looked it up real quick, and the mask was selling for $30 on eBay in the U.S. And I was buying for like less than $1.
Right.
And the guy had like boxes of them, like literally hundreds of them just sitting there. And my flight the next morning it was at like 11 or something, Liz, 11 or
Yeah,
12.
it's 11 something.
And I was like, I have to go there. Like, I don't care. I'm gonna do whatever it takes. I literally went there. I stood outside for like 2 hours. The guy didn't show up. I literally waited till the last minute, and then I was like, I can't. I'm gonna miss my plane, so I had to jet to the airport and take off. But it's great to make money, but it's also seriously like fun. It's like a treasure hunt, and I know Liz can kind of attest to that. It's really fun.
Yeah, it is fun. It's like probably the funnest money you'll ever make just because, like Kevin said, it's like a hunt.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. There's something that I just love about this because it's so actionable. And can I get let's go with like a hashtag lightning fast. It's a lot for a hashtag, but hashtag lightning fast because I'm telling you guys, it happens fast.
Right. And one other thing, Mike, that I think most people don't realize is like most of the people that I know that are making really big money um, are all started like that. Like I always talk about my buddy Justin that hit the $1 million on Black Friday. He started by going to garage sales, and to this day, he still likes to go to Target and buy stuff at Target and then resell it. And so it's just like it really gives you insight as to what's working out in the world. And I know like some of my product selection is just so out of the box. People would be like, "Are you kidding me? You're going to do that product?" I'm like, "Yeah, I am." And it usually works out because of the experience that I've had out in the field. So it kind of gives you like a really big edge.
I found Buzz Lightyear. He's kind of like lightning fast.
Like you gotta do a Pikachu.
Oh,
Yeah, be good. Yeah.
how do they not have? What the hell is going on? Where'd you find that Charizard?
I'll get you a Pikachu. Don't
Yeah,
worry.
give me a Pikachu. Give me a happy birthday Pikachu in there, guys. Just so you know, my background, retail arbitrage. Okay, that's what I did. That's how I got my start. I mean, I had a whole e-commerce website. I'll go to the Wayback Machine and show it to you. Let's do Wayback Machine.
You can even show mine too, Mike. Mine's up there also. It even has my name on it. So when people say, I actually like arbitraged currency. So arbitrage has been around throughout time.
What was your website?
It was simsbanker.com. It was, remember the MMORPG? I
Yep.
was like arbitraging virtual currency.
Yeah, virtual currency in this case is like World of Warcraft money and stuff.
Yeah, World of Warcraft money, EverQuest money. In this case, it was a Sim site money. If you look back at the 2003 shot, it's kind of funny because, or just pick anyone, it doesn't really matter. You'll see how just lame the site was. But if you scroll down, I think in the 2003 shot, even have like my name is somewhere on there because I was actually doing like a guide, and like yeah, it says expert gaming expert danger girl, and then that was like my partner, the banker. So it was like totally lame. It had live chat and everything, but this was actually a site that was making $100,000 a month, and it was like arbitraging virtual currency.
That's so funny. Yep, El Paso, Texas. Here it is.
Yep.
Um, let me. I'll show you guys my first website. It was called theendgames.com. It might have been endgames.com actually. I don't think it was theendgames.com. Might have been theendgames.com. I really don't remember. Whoa.
But I think the great thing about retail arbitrage too, just like this lame site that I had, is it gets you to take action, which most people won't do. They'll just sit around and sort of like wanna
Oh my!
take action or dream about taking action, but they never take any action.
I don't know if I'm going to the right places at all. It's saying like mypills.com. I wonder if I'm on the right site. Maybe it was theendgames.com. Been so long. Oh yeah, maybe this is right. Yeah, this is it. So it's theendgames.com. So this is and this is actually kind of when it was a little bit more decked out. Um, yeah, March 2000. By the way, one of the things about retail arbitrage, let me point something out, is that God, this just took me forever to get this site started. Like when I was first getting started, I was like, it took me like 2 years to start my game store from the time I first started, working on it. And then after that, it took me a year or two after that to get online. And with retail arbitrage with Amazon, the way we're doing it, like you can be up in days. I mean, like David Mills and I were talking about it, and it's just literally crazy to us. Um, like what Era just did this. I mean, it's just like almost like literally ridiculous to me, like how fast. This is when the site was a little bit more sophisticated around 2013. Show you more what it looked like here. And what I would do is I'd write these articles because I hardly even knew how SEO worked at this time. I was in some directories and I was doing some crazy stuff for SEO, but it was kind of enough. And then obviously the site looks a little weird, like a lot of the images are broken here and stuff like that. But this is it, and this was $1 million website. Oh, and then this is when I shifted over to being more of a started selling info marketing. So this was like a survey that I did. And anyways, I don't know. But this is where my roots were. And I would fly back and forth between Japan and America. And I would buy, this is one of the reasons why we have all these Pokemon jokes that go back and forth with me and Liz and Kev, is that I was flying back and forth between, oh, there's Happy Birthday Pikachu. Guys, I made so much money with this card. The Japanese foil version. Oh my God! If you knew how much money I made with this card. But what is the arbitrage? Elena wants to know: is there an arbitrage option for people living outside of the USA? I don't know the answer to that.
Yeah, you can send stuff into Europe. There's Amazon centers in Europe, and there's so like that'd be Germany, the UK. Trying to think which other ones because I don't do Europe, but I know people that actually send stuff from the USA to Europe, and it's retail arbitrage stuff.
Yeah.
And I know people that I know there's like some Canadian syrup. So people go to Canada and they fall in love with the syrup and they move to the US and they just need to buy. So I know there's a lot of Canadian FBAers that are selling Canadian syrup in the US.
Yeah.
And people in the U.S. just can't get it, so it's just like a kind of monopolize on that.
There's always like a cross currency. So this is what I would do. Like I would buy. Actually, it all started. I actually sold a lot in Japan. A lot, like a lot. So what happened was I went over to Japan and I was looking for Pokemon because you couldn't, Liz, you couldn't get it anywhere in America when it first was a fad when it first came out.
Right. It's like, sort of like I was almost like I would joke around with people that I would meet people in parking lots and trade them for Pokemon cards. It's almost like you're doing a drug deal, but Pokemon cards were at some point going for so much money, it almost felt like you were doing a drug deal for, some foiled Charizards, but
Yeah.
it was just like that was how it was. You had to kind of like head down to downtown LA and really dig into the toy district to get some Pokemon stuff. It was really fun.
Right. So I was in Japan and I was going store to store, and I was so frustrated because it was so hard to find it, and I didn't know why because I knew that like I mean I went to Pokemon Central in Tokyo, um, and I went to all these different stores in Osaka, in Kyoto, and it was the first time I'd ever been to Japan. It was so alien. I was so tired just marching around looking for stuff, and I finally went to this place. The last day I was there, Hobby Station Yellow Submarine, and I remember the store manager's name was a guy named Sayami. Changed my life, and he was like, he wanted to know where my Pokemon was or my Magic cards were. He was like, why, why don't you have Magic cards? I was like, why would I have Magic cards here? And he's like, well, you're Mike Long. Why don't you have Magic cards? Because I was a pro Magic player. And I was like, what the hell is, I thought he wanted to play me or something. I was like, you trying to throw down? And and no, but he was like, and then he pulled me to the back and he just pulled this curtain back and it was like wall to wall. It was boxes stacked of Pokemon. And I was like drooling. I was like, oh my God. I mean, it was like the lost city of El Dorado, right? Like the lost city of gold. And he was like, we keep this to like force Americans to bring us Magic cards because it was the same thing for them. They wanted Magic cards so bad. Um, That's funny. Christopher Bogelman says we all live in a Sammy submarine. So, anyways, but that's the whole thing with arbitrage. I mean, this look, guys, this goes back to the days like people call Christopher Columbus an explorer. He wasn't an explorer. He was an Arby. He was in retail arbitrage. Marco Polo was in retail arbitrage. That's what they did. Do I believe in magic? Heck yeah, I believe in magic. Yeah, let's get a hashtag Marco Polo because it's so like the crazy thing is everyone worries about saturation. Let them worry about it and just go and make a lot of money while they're worrying about everything being saturated. Listen, guys, the sky has been falling on money getting forever. I mean, every source. Oh man, Andy Powell. Andy Powell just hit 50 grand in the last couple weeks. Congratulations, Andy. Um, but on Amazon, great job. Actually, I'm gonna congratulations.
Yeah, he certainly deserves it. Oh, 80,000 now. He deserves it. He's a pretty hard worker. He's always in the message boards as well, or the forum, Facebook.
Post a screen cap, Andy. Let's see it. I love it. Congratulations. That's freaking awesome. Yeah, I mean, it just there's just so much money flying around out there, and part of the reason why it's so easy to get is everyone just is so afraid that the sky is falling. So like your quote unquote competition, they're just like sitting around quaking in their shoes. They're like, oh my God, it's about to end. There's no more opportunity. It's over. And it's like, okay, tell that, because it's the same thing as Marco Polo. Like Marco Polo, people were telling him, oh, there's no more opportunity. That's it. It's closed. That's it. Like that's what everybody hears just all the time, just kind of nonstop. So, so Liz, what you're doing with retail arbitrage, like at this point, a very simple form of it is to download. I would say it's worth it to just go ahead and get Bandit, the Bandit app, the Profit Bandit app, and it's like $10 a month, and just it's just worth it. You get 10 scans free, but and it's this app on your phone, and it just lets you take a picture of the barcode, and then it'll display the the thing. It'll display the list price, the bestseller rank. It'll tell you, if you're competing with Amazon, don't do that. So you just don't do it. And then it'll tell you how much profit you'd make. You just set the settings right, and it'll tell you how much profit you would make if you were to sell it at a given price.
Right, and I think there's also an app for the iPhone where you don't even need to buy Profit Bandit. It's like free. I don't think they have it for Android yet. I could be wrong. I haven't actually. I still have Profit Bandit only because I like to just get out there and look at stuff and kind of get an idea. Okay, what is this selling on Amazon? Most of the time you find stuff cheaper on Amazon as it is, but I still like to get out there and just scan items just for doing like product research. So I certainly have Profit Bandit.
Yeah, yeah, because that's the whole thing is you really are doing product getting research at a profit. Give me a hashtag research profits if that makes sense to you. Liz, you said this during the webinar last night. And by the way, I'll put up a link to the replay of the webinar. It was omgmachines.com slash omgway hangout.php. So I just posted that right there. I'll actually go here. Boy, this was a cool webinar. Here's Liz, and Liz was talking about this last night because, for example, Kev, you go to Yiwu, right, which is like this. Boy, I got that video that Handsome Howard shot. Let me see if I can. I'm gonna pull this up. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna I'm not gonna play the video because it would be like a little disorienting. But like these are the shops at Yiwu, and there's like 100,000 of them. I don't know if people are seeing this, but each of these stalls, Kev, like here and here and here, these are all wholesalers. Is that right?
Yeah, they do wholesale. Some of them they'll do smaller quantities as well. But it's insane. I would say it's on the same level as like the Canton Fair. It's just you need probably over a week to just go through everything, and it's overwhelming. There's just so much there.
But
I was telling Liz like she'll love it there because that's kind of her style of sourcing. She would just thrive in that kind of environment.
well, because and what sharpens you guys for when you go to say the Canton Fair or a trade fair in America, or even just looking on Amazon, you have this retail arbitrage background, Liz, and that was one of the things you were talking about on Amazon or on the Hangout webinar last night is how you're basically like scientifically targeting your brain around products at a profit when you're doing retail arbitrage.
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel like the people, like that's part of the reason why I get along with Kevin and Jen so much is because we have that retail arbitrage mentality where we sort of understand and we can kind of see and think outside the box. And I think that's part of the reason why it's enabled us to like thrive. Just when people are complaining, oh, there's too much competition and this and that. Like I'm seeing like more opportunity than ever, and no, I'm just seeing more opportunity than ever, not just from that standpoint, but from outside of Amazon. And I'm sort of getting back down to like my e-commerce roots and starting to crush it outside of Amazon. So I wouldn't be surprised at any point next year I would probably crush what I'm doing on Amazon in e-com, and that's because I kind of owe it all to like retail arbitrage because it's just gotten me to think outside the box.
I like this little Chompers is he's cooking up some profits. Chompers a he or a she?
It's a she.
Okay, she's cooking up some profits. Get some hashtag Chompers because I don't think we're gonna get any hashtag calves. I think since Tyree's out, it's gonna be trouble. Yeah, hashtag Chompers, everybody. Um, oh man, you know what? Susan Ann McDowell's on with us. Susan, I forgot you're in New York City. Are you able to stay with us the whole time? Because if you got to run, we need to talk about this brute force method.
Nope, I've worked it out, so I'm here, so we can either talk about brute force now or later, whatever works.
You know what? Let's jump in and talk, Liz. Just in case something happens with Susan having to go, because she's on the line with us from New York City, and she's on a trip and she's taking special time. This brute force method, we've really seen explosive results with this. Now, I showed this, I think, the last time we did this. If I go to Amazon and I search for, let's see, Amazon.com, and if I look for stock trading, then okay, it's dipped down a little bit, but this book was at number like 10 or so, and we did a giveaway about a month ago, and it shot up to number 3. Now it's dipped back down from there, but the bottom line is what we did was we increased the price and did a giveaway, and it shot up. And now you have to do some stuff to sustain the sales, and it's something that's a little bit of a sideline for Mike Swanson. So it's not as easy for him to stay focused on it, to run ads to it, and to do SEO for the book and so forth. But we actually had an OMGer who did a giveaway on a major, like this is a majorly competitive keyword in the pet market. And he shot all the way up to page 1 from page 7 by doing this. Liz, the idea is you do a price increase and then you do a giveaway and then you put the price back to normal.
Right. So you overinflate the price, and it kind of came from a couple things where I kind of came up with the idea, and the first one was the fact that I just noticed like a lot of people launch products and they're trying to tell people, hey, look, I made 25,000 on my first day selling on Amazon. When in reality, it's like the reason that their statistics show that is because they did a giveaway, right? And everybody that's experienced with giveaways, like Susan can tell you this, that when you give a product away for free or for $1, it's going to show the true sales value. So it'll be, that's why it shows up 25,000, not because.
In this case, you're talking about gurus.
Yes.
Trying to sell products.
Right. So they say like I made $25,000 my first day. Like literally, I was talking to this with John Gill the other day ago, and we were talking about we could easily make it seem like we had $100,000 day just from doing giveaways if you overinflate the price. So what happens is Amazon treats this as a full sale, the value of it, and because they really have no way to be able to differentiate that from a stats perspective versus the actual like true money that they're making, which is kind of like in the background. So the way I noticed this, I actually had a hijacker for a product that I'd never been able to crack at number 1. I was always at number 2, and they had a couple units available, so I bought them all at a really high price, and all of a sudden for 4 days I shot up to number 1. So I thought to myself, what if I tried this out with a giveaway? And sure enough, I tried it in the skincare market, and immediately upon launching, I've been on page 1 since the first launch of 150 units in a really highly competitive skincare market product. So it makes a huge difference. And I know that Susan has found the same thing.
Yeah, we'll get back. Sorry, Cotton sent me this link. I got momentarily distracted, but let's get back to and we'll talk about Cotton's assimilation webinar coming up in just a second. But Susan Ann McDowell, because of your dope giveaway service that OMGers have just been massively benefiting from, because of that, because of your giveaway service, you've just been getting tons and tons and tons of feedback on this. And so
yes,
what's
well,
going on?
Just let me make, before I get into what happened this week and why it was so special, just let me say 2 things. Number 1, I remember when Liz had that experience. Actually, I was sitting in an airport in Manchester, New Hampshire at about 11 o'clock at night when she called and said, oh my God, I think this works. And then in true Liz manner, she devised a way to test it because there's having the gut feeling of whether something works, but then there's always testing it. And one of the things about Liz is that she doesn't tell you anything until it's been tested. And we ran some tests on this and found that it worked. What was really, I guess it's sort of an aha, and it deals with a lot of things because you see people saying, oh, free giveaways don't work. You have to price it at $1 or whatever. Amazon's reporting stream internally tracks sales based on whatever you list it at, and coupons are treated as an advertising expense that's different. So from Amazon's point of view, a giveaway that shows up as a sale and a sale are both sales. And they price sales at whatever you have the product priced at. So BSR and all of their metrics are determined based on the dollar value of your list price. So until they change their internal reporting systems, this is going to work.
Yeah.
Because it's, they would have to do something consciously to change it. It's the way their systems function. Well, so this week, an OMGer did a giveaway, gave away 100 products, and hiked the price up dramatically. So dramatically that they lost the buy box, which some people might say, oh my God, that's horrible, and they might get scared. Say, well, I don't have the buy box. I'm not going to do this. This person proceeded, and what's really interesting is that there is a school of thought going around that in order to get a rank benefit from a giveaway, you need to use your SURL. This OMGer did not use an SURL, just went with the canonical, which luckily had their keywords in it. And so giving away 100 units, which I think actually turned into 92 because some people got confused and couldn't navigate it because he lost the buy box, at a price that was about 3 times the regular price, high enough to lose the buy box, shot him up to page 1.
That was from page 7.
Just based on the only thing there, it wasn't the SURL, it wasn't anything else, it was just the brute force giveaway.
Yeah.
So this works if you have the balls to do it.
So funny.
Yeah, now people can see why I always talk to Susan M. Qa. They say surround yourself with people that are a lot smarter than you. I think she just like nailed exactly what I was trying to say. I think she sort of like knew it, because I try to just lay it out like in layman's terms, because that's kind of how I think. But Susan just explained it like so eloquently, like I couldn't have done it better myself. It was just awesome.
Yeah, let's go to hashtag brute force. I hope everybody gets this. Kev, go ahead. Were you saying something?
Oh, no.
And the thing to remember is that then after the giveaway is over, to lower the price.
Right.
And then to have a strategy in place to continue sales, that if your PPC does not generate sales after that in order to keep your rank, you're going to have to continue doing giveaways until the organic and the PPC sales stuff comes in, because Amazon works on like a 4 or 5 day cycle. So you're not going to keep this rank forever just because you had it once. You're going to have to continue.
Yeah. Yeah, I really like, one of the things that we tell you is that OMG is a system for having a system. Somebody else would get a hold of a technique like this and a system, and this is a system. Someone would have, get a hold of a system like this, and they would go and do a guru launch, right? And let me tell you what would happen, because I've been behind the scenes of the guru world. Well, they would, first of all, they'd make a sanitized version of it. They wouldn't have near because we have a lot of science here. We have a lot of science going behind the scenes. I mean, Liz, you are bombarded at this point. First of all, you already had a ton before you joined OMG, but now at this point, it's crazy. You have so much data at your disposal with, talking with Kev and Jen, and talking with Susan M. McDowell, talking with OMGers. Aw, Shauna just, look at this. Way to go, Shauna. First $128 in sales. Way to go. That's awesome. I love seeing this stuff. That's great.
That's sick. Congratulations on that. That is awesome. I can remember my first 128. I was so pumped.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if I can get her in here. Yeah, somehow I'm having trouble tagging her. Anyway, congratulations, Shauna. This, what would happen is if a guru was trying to package this and sell this as a product, they would have to go out and get JVs and package together a whole product. They wouldn't have near the data that Liz and Susan have on this. And then they'd just stick it out there as a launch. But first of all, you might not even hear about it. Second of all, it would be lost amongst the shuffle of all these other launches. And then it would just be one technique on its own without everything else. One of the things, Susan, that you're saying is, hey, this may or may not be enough. I mean, it's certainly going to help no matter what, but you still have to have a way to keep that top ranking. And so you want to be able to keep firing and firing with your SEO, with your Wirecast video SEOs, with paid traffic and so forth. Or it may just get you up to number 1, and you may just get sales volume from it, and you may just keep number 1.
Absolutely. That's right. You need to work. There's no magic bullet. This isn't I'm going to go on Amazon, put a product up, do one thing, and be rich. This is work. I mean, Cotton talked about this at length last night, about how you really have to work. But the great thing about OMG is that we have all of these resources. Well, and you put it all together, it all works together, and we have the test results, so that when somebody from OMG tells you that this is working, it's been tested and it's working.
And what it is it's a system for having a system. This is David Fripp, by the way. Congratulations, David. He actually sent me an email about this last night. $494. That's for this month and last month. This is basically like he started halfway through last month on Amazon, and this is just the first few days of this month. 494 pounds sterling. Congratulations, David. Really, really happy for you. So what Susan was just talking about, what she was just alluding to, is a system for having a system. You know, Kev, when I got to your warehouse in Los Angeles, and you were walking me around, you were like showing me your systems, not your one trick that you use to make money. You're like, well, here is my graphics, station. Here's where we do photographs and photography. Here's where we your station for packaging things up. We even had the forklift. Which I'll show the videos of that very soon. But I mean, again, you can testify to this. Like that $700,000 in sales last month. It wasn't one trick. It was a series of systems that work together in the same direction.
You're absolutely right. In the beginning, you can kind of you got to do everything, but to eventually scale up to the larger numbers without systems, it gets too chaotic and you'll be all over the place. And so systems, it's at a certain stage, you really got to invest into it. It makes all the difference.
It does make all the difference. We'll be talking about Kevin's warehouse more in a second. Let Kevin Jens. I'd love to get a hashtag system for having a system.
And you know what, Mike? I don't know if anybody's read that post that you put up about Andy Powell, but I just want to talk a little bit about that. I've been meaning to make a post about that. I think if anybody that I've seen that's kind of like shown like just what kind of systems he's done with his products, he kind of like laid it out for everybody, and it goes to show just how much work he put into that to get to where he's at. So I thought that was like super awesome and inspiring, and I think he's like really an inspiration for people. But he showed like how he took everything he learned inside of OMG and he created sort of like a system for his product, and he kind of like laid it out there for people just to see what he actually had gone through. So if people haven't actually seen that, I think they really need to take a look at what he actually did that. So it took a lot of hard work. His money just didn't come like appear one day out of thin air. He really nailed it, and I mean, I think it's just something everybody should look at. Congrats to him. I think he's doing a phenomenal job.
Yeah, this is in the that post is in the Amazon group, right?
It was actually in your blog, or you sent it out on an email dispatch.
You're right. I'm being totally silly. omgmachines.com/blog/dispatches. Let me pull this up, and I'll post the link. Here we go.
So he did quite a bit of like SEO on it, and so like a lot of people are always saying like, well, what do we do? We have no idea what to do. He kind of like laid out what he did, pretty much just from an SEO perspective, based off of things that he learned inside of OMG.
Yeah. I mean, I just think, we had the $100,000 webinar last night. Give me $100,000 right now. Like, just you can't really do it with a hashtag, but give me $100,000 if you're feeling like, wow, this is obviously like $100,000 training. I mean, because we really pour heart and soul into this. And I'll tell you this: we have individuals on this webinar right now who joined OMG all the way back in 2012 that are getting to enjoy this training live with us. That joined our OMG NHB team, our OMG NHB Facebook, or not Facebook program, but just our OMG coaching. The coaching that everyone here is a part of. Our version of it from all the way back in 2012. And 2012 and even early 2013, but 2012, and they're here right now benefiting from this coaching, and why? Like, what could our reason be to share coaching, like live coaching here with me? I mean, I'm taking my time to do this, and with Liz, and now we're bringing Kev into the mix, and Susan McDowell's here once again. Well, why are people all the way back from 2012 benefiting from this? Okay, why? Why would we do that? Well, I'll tell you why. Because we want. Oh man, Mandy's on. I wonder if Mandy's got a microphone.
Mandy's actually heading to China next week.
Let me find out if Mandy's.
Mandy's going to Yiwu, so I think she should be on here. She said she was going to be.
I'm going to unmute Mandy. Mandy, I tried to make you a panelist. Some reason it's not letting me. Mandy, are you there? Is your microphone working?
I am here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. I didn't know you were a stowaway. What's going on with you?
I skulk around and listen to people who are smarter than I am.
Oh gosh, Mike Bitler's on too. Are you kidding me? That's a sick event. I'm going to make Mike Bitler an organizer. For some reason, I can make Mike Bitler an organizer. I was sorry, guys. I wasn't even looking at the audience. I was so like transfixed with the Facebook thread. Mike Bitler, are you there? I don't know if Mike's there. Maybe his microphone isn't working. I just made you an organizer. Oh, and Tyler Davis is on. This is sick. I want to see how many six-figure per month Amazoners I can get on the same random hangout here. Let's make Tyler an organizer too. What the heck? See if he's got. Tyler, are you there? Mike Bitler, Tyler, either you guys?
You hear me? You hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Awesome. Welcome. Man, we're going to see you in Tampa in just a couple weeks.
Yeah, and then Dallas.
And then in Dallas on top of that. This is great. And Mandy's here too. Mandy, how you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm just trying to absorb some last-minute tips before I go to Yiwu for 3 weeks.
You're going to Yiwu. Did you see Handsome Howard's Yiwu videos?
Yes, I did. He sent them to me last night.
Heck yeah. Boy, you know, you've been working a lot with Justin. How much did Justin do in sales last year?
I believe, you know, I don't have access to his books, but I believe the rumor is 40 million.
40 million, and he's a top 10 overall Amazon seller. And approximately what percentage of that is private label, and approximately what percentage of that is retail arbitrage?
Well, that's what I'm working on him with is getting more and more private label stuff. So to give you percentages, I honestly don't know.
Yeah.
I know that he still does a lot of arbitrage. He inspired me the other day. You know, I'm lazy, and then I see him actually going to Target and Walmart, and he said, I had to drive across country, and he said, I want to ride with you. We'll stop at every Walmart. And so if anyone thinks they're too big to do it, they're wrong.
Yeah, I can just see Justin raiding Target. That's just epic.
Yeah.
I would have done it, except he smokes.
Let's get a hashtag raid Target if you guys are kind of feeling this. Listen, guys, this is a totally different way of coming after. It's a totally different angle on Amazon. And look, we're not saying don't do private label. That's not what we're saying at all. In fact, this is a great way to get into private label. This is a great way to get into it. Absolutely amazing way to get into private label. And how about making money while you're doing it? One of the things you pointed to, Liz, is you just get adept at the Amazon back office.
I think we lost you, Mike.
Oh, am I there now?
Okay, you're back.
Okay, yeah. So what I was saying is that with this with retail arbitrage, we really get adept at like we're not only doing product research at a profit, but you're really getting adept at the workings of Amazon, like how to work the back office, how to use these various systems that we're doing. You can even do giveaways and stuff like that on your private label or on your public or your retail arbitrage stuff if you want to. You can do YouTube videos. You can test all this stuff.
The thing I've learned from watching the greats like Justin and Liz is that, you know, it's a millionaire mindset, but they're not too, you know, they'll scrub toilets to be millionaires. Whatever it takes, they do it, and that has been the most like the biggest lesson for me.
Yeah, Mandy. It's really I almost want to do a hashtag scrub toilets. Hashtag scrub toilets for millions.
I'm so bummed that is my first hashtag. But it's somehow appropriate, so all right.
Yeah, the you really need to scrub the toilets in you, I'd imagine, or even some parts of China.
I,
Jeez, they're dangerous.
that might be why I'm fixated on toilets today. I'm
Yeah.
trying to go as much as I can here and
Was it
just hold it for 3 weeks then.
was it Flabby Flab who had the tarantula in her toilet?
No, that was Ben Brandes.
Oh my God, that was funny. Ben did this technique, by the way, the brute force technique, and he had huge success with it.
Yes, he did. He loved it. He not only that, but one other thing about the brute force technique that I didn't mention that really makes it that much more successful, in even areas like supplements, is the fact that when you have that price jacked up, people tend to look at it like it has more value, and I'm pretty sure Susan can tell you this. So they feel like it's more valuable, and they have to get it, like no matter what. So by doing that, it takes products that people might not think are that sexy, like they're like, oh, I've had enough of Garcinia cambogia, but hey, this is $79 Garcinia cambogia, I've got to get this. There must be something special about it. So it almost makes people want it.
And actually, I'll add one thing to that, and that is the conventional wisdom that tells you to charge $1 or $1.95. You lose that perception of value. If it's $79 and you're giving it away for free, people still think of it as $79. If you sell it for $1 or $1.95, you lose that perception. I did a $1 giveaway as part of someone who won't be named Facebook course when I started last fall, and I got a spate of really crappy reviews for this crappy $1 product.
Right.
And you don't get that perception if it's
Yeah.
a giveaway and it's the higher price, because they still view it. The only price they see is the higher price. But once you get into the $1.95, $4.95, then that becomes the price that people perceive it at. So it's marketing 101.
And I can confirm that. I mean, I'm a top reviewer. I get a ton of offers, but I actually look at the dollar value first. And I've taken things that I wouldn't take just because they're like, I'm like, what? This silverware is $300? And that's not. And then I get it, and I'm like, it's not $300 silverware, but I fall for it. So, and I should be seasoned, but apparently I don't learn quickly.
Did you fall for my stuff, Mandy?
I fall for everything. I fell for you the minute I met you.
Hashtag fall for everything. Kev, let's circle back around. One of the things I want to get to, before we get too far into it, we're almost about an hour in. What's your background? What led us here? And I'd like to talk about your OMG exclusive. We've been kind of teasing this for a little while. I know that people banging on the doors really waiting for you to open this up and share this with OMGers. So first of all, how did you and Jen get started with Amazon, and how did you ramp up to $700,000 in the last month? And also, what led you to creating this warehouse resource that you're now sharing with exclusively with OMGers?
All right, where do we start? So my background is in the fashion industry. I'm out here in LA. It's kind of like the epicenter of kind of domestic manufacturing and also designing and also importing. First time I went to China was in early 2000s, and went back in, I believe it was 2005, 6 for sourcing for clothing, and our company was doing importing stuff. And that was the first time I've ever been to a trade show in China, and my mind was just blown. And at that time, I was so busy and consumed with our fashion products that when I was at the show and I saw, like, literally, I still remember so vividly, there was like hot tubs, there were these chandeliers, there was these like door locks where you just put your thumb and it just lets you in. And like, I was thinking, man, back home at Home Depot, there's nothing like this, if you just brand. And the only thing that the Chinese couldn't do was branding and marketing. And so that always kind of stuck in my head. And then while I was, I came back to the US and we're just working. And the first time I imported something was kind of not too long after that trip. It was for some automotive parts for my own car, and I was like, why don't I just try to get some extra? And I ordered about, and this is before like Alibaba or anything. I literally just emailed. I found some factory through like a directory, and I emailed them, and I sent them money via Western Union. I was like, I don't know if I'll ever get this stuff, but lo and behold, it came. I was still so busy. I was trying to sell it on like car forums and stuff like that, but they're all blocking me, saying I need to pay like fees and stuff like that. So I just threw it up on eBay and I cleared it out, and I made a couple $1,000 just doing that. And I should have, and I think that was around like 2005, and I should have stuck with that and grown my importing stuff from there, but just got sucked back into work. But I don't regret that either, because doing the fashion stuff, I was working with a lot of like really major retailers like Urban Outfitters, Nordstrom's, Forever 21. From the designing aspect of it to the production, to working with the top, like the buyers, and just like the real top people at corporate. So I was flying out to Philadelphia, all over the country, just meeting with them. So it just gave me a good breadth from production, design, all the way to logistics and shipping. For example, with Nordstrom's, we had to do, their shipping requirements are extremely high. They use like EDI and stuff like that, electronic, I forget the term exactly, but it's just really complicated. And there's certain times, just like you were saying, you got to scrub the toilets. Like, there's nothing I want to do. Urban Outfitters had a distribution center up in Reno, and when we were tight on the deadline, I literally rented a truck and drove a 24-footer all the way up through the mountains to Reno, unloaded the whole truck myself, palletized it. There's nothing I won't do, and it's really paid off. So that's kind of my background in terms of product development, design, and just the logistics stuff. And as I was continuing in the fashion industry, the industry is just changing severely, and I knew there was big potential in e-commerce. So 3 years ago, Jin and I shifted, and we started working with Nasty Gal, nastygal.com. They're probably one of the most well-regarded, look-to e-commerce fashion companies right now. They're pretty much at the tip of the arrow. Just working with them and seeing, because they were solely e-commerce and they recently went brick and mortar, and I was working closely with their team, designing stuff for them, working with their distribution center, which was out here in LA, and just saw the e-commerce potential, and we started our own e-commerce line, and was ramping that up for 2 years, and it was doing well. I just learned so much. It wasn't cash flow positive because it cost. Fashion is just so hyper competitive. Like the marketing costs are just it's another ballpark. And so for 2 years it was ramping up. We had investors interested, but I think me and Jim we just got kind of tired of it. And during that time, Amazon actually called us and they're like, we want to put your stuff on Amazon, and we're like, guys, just leave us alone. We're not. I don't know. We just had this different view of Amazon back then. Like, we're here to do direct-to-consumer on our website. But they kept pestering, and we're like, what the heck? We'll throw it up. And it just started selling. And we're like, wow, this is kind of crazy. And then during that time, like I said, me and Jim kind of started getting burnt out because we weren't passionate about the clothing thing. And it was just really exhausting. It's kind of weird to go from that. And we started just dabbling in retail arbitrage, just like Liz. And man, it's not as prestigious, but it's really fun when you find that one product and you're like, oh my gosh, you look around as if like to make sure no one else saw you, and then you take advantage of it. And so from there, retail arbitrage, just like you guys have been sharing, really kind of crafted and honed our just Amazon fundamentals. And as I started doing that, and I remember back to that time in 2005 when I imported that car product, I was like, dude, I need to get something like that on Amazon. So before I knew anything with private labeling stuff on Amazon, I just tried it. And it got out there and it started moving. And I was like, this works. I need to get better at it. So that just began I started digging and digging and digging and digging, and I was like, I need to get better on Amazon marketing. And it just led me to different programs. Some really they were great. Others were just not. And when you find that program and that place and the people that are legit and are actually doing it, like you gotta stay there. You gotta just really suck it all in and take action. And that's kind of like the gist of it. I started just learning and I started implementing, and just making sure that I was learning from the right people. I was in the right groups, surrounding myself with the people that are way smarter than me. And you come across people like Liz and Mike and just a lot of awesome people I've just built relationships with, and they're just super generous. Um, and it's like when you meet people like that and they think of your welfare before just trying to take your money, like there's something there. You gotta stick with them. And yeah, just growing and just learning. And just to let you guys know, especially those that have not done internet marketing and stuff like that. I did do e-commerce, but man, Dr. Larry, he's been on here before. He's like my favorite doctor. He's so awesome. He was telling me all this like SEO terms like and stuff like that he was learning and doing. I was like, I have no idea what you're talking about. And Liz has shared some stuff with me. I don't know what you're talking about. So just to encourage you guys, I'm not a technical guy. Like, I don't have a super technical background. I just learn and I take action. And if there's anything I can like emphasize and encourage you guys to do, it's simply that. Just do it. Don't get distracted. And in terms of scaling up to where we are now, it's been a progress. I remember like when we first brought some of our products, it was so humbling. Like it was like a few boxes. This was a domestic product, and literally now we're bringing in the back of my SUV like 3-4 boxes, and now we're doing container loads every month. And it's a matter of just scaling up and building up, and as much as you, especially when you start off, you want to do everything. It's as you grow, you gotta start letting go and allocating and just delegating things like that and building systems. And I'm not good at it. It's a struggle, but I'm good. I know I need to do it, so I'm working towards that. And I think a lot of gurus make it sound like it's just super easy, and they're like super good at it. I just don't think it's like that. That's not how life is. You just you go with the flow. You roll with the punches, and you get up every single time. And every single morning you wake up and be like, I'm gonna take one step forward, and it's just the culmination of that, and that's how we got to where we are. In terms of our warehousing service, same thing. I think when you just start going down a path, there's times where you gotta pivot. You'll see all these other opportunities, and they're great. And there's certain times where there's so many shiny objects. But there's certain times where you gotta say no, and certain times when you're like, I gotta jump on it, the timing's right. And we have a warehouse already. I saw all the pitfalls of not inspecting your goods, and we're located right next to the LA and the Long Beach port in Los Angeles, next to LAX. And I was just like, people need this, and me and Jen have been talking about it for a while. And although we probably make a lot more money just focusing on our Amazon business, this is something we want to work on as well, just to diversify and offer just a service that really needs to be there. And we wanted to just do it just better than anyone else. We have the background. We're not just a logistics company. Like we solely want to focus on FBA inspection and services and forwarding, just for this the FBA community. We're not some huge logistics company that will do anything, because there's so many pitfalls and just unique things to FBA and Amazon. That's just what we want to specialize in, and we're actually sellers. That's who we are first, and because of that background, it just felt like I think we can do this better than others who are people that are in the logistics business and trying to do Amazon. Like we do Amazon, and we're bringing on another strength that we have, which is logistics, and it's just come together like that, and that's kind of where we are.
I'm really passionate about sharing this, and I want to compliment Kevin and Jen for taking their time with this, because they could have pulled the trigger on this a long time ago. I wanted to get this, me and Liz wanted to get this in front of OMGers for like a long time, but also we wanted Kevin and Jen to take their time really be comfortable and ready to share this. Do you have a URL that I can post, or can you post a URL in the Facebook group?
Yeah. Give me 1 second.
I'm going to take you guys to the site, and I have I'll be coming out with the China documentary. I'm going to start rolling that out soon. In fact, probably the first stop on your OMG product gang China documentary actually is in Kevin Jin's warehouse, where we did a walkthrough, and yes, I did go Superman on the forklift.
Hey, Mike, do you want the OMG landing page or just the general one?
The OMG landing page would be great.
Okay.
And one thing, Mike, is like I don't recommend things unless I really believe in them or whatever. So I just want to say that I actually use Kevin and Jen's service, and I actually have stuff that's headed there on 6/11. Kind of showed up out of the blue because my supplier and my freight forwarder were on totally different pages, and they both forgot to bill me for a shipment that was on its actual way already to LA, so it's going to be there on 6/11. So just to let everybody know, I actually use it, and I plan to continue using it for quite a bit of merchandise coming into like Christmas. So it's definitely something that I stand by like 100%.
Yeah, I absolutely echo everything that Liz is saying. This is riversourcelogistics.com/OMG. Welcome to the city on a hill. We've got the OMG machines truck rolling in. We've got hashtag World Tour, hashtag Riversource, hashtag Angry Orchard, which is I got to tell you,
Good choice.
me and Liz and
Kevin and Jen too.
we down a fair amount of Angry Orchard. It's a little bit of fun. OMG exclusive only, and we got hashtag cat stickers. Let's get some of those hashtags rolling out there in the Facebook group. So we got hashtag Angry Orchard. So one of my favorites. Let's I'll find a little beer sticker here. Where's the little happy?
I think in Fort Lauderdale we drank them out. It's kind of embarrassing to say, right?
We did. We literally ran them out of. We've actually run a lot of people out of Angry Orchard. So we got hashtag Angry Orchard, hashtag OMG World Tour, and hashtag Chompers, and make sure to post a cat sticker. You got to get a cat sticker involved here. A lot of action there. So to get back to this OMG exclusive, this is a members exclusive. They're waiving up the sign-up fee, and there's even a discount. By the way, just so you know, the discount is completely not something that we even asked Kevin and Jim for. They just wanted to extend that to you, and you just so the basic idea is you're bringing in a product from overseas, say from China. You want to get it from, say, Yiwu to FBA, to fulfillment by Amazon, and we want to go through a filtration process. Liz, you talked about this for years. You've been doing this in your home. One time you got a shipment of stuff and it came out and it literally stunk. And if you'd send it into Amazon, you'd have had a dead product line.
Oh yeah, and that this happened to Kevin too. And I even told Kevin the last time I spoke to him, I was like, I was sort of, holy crap, I can't believe I'm actually doing this to make sure that it doesn't stink. And I'm here thinking, I'm the only, literally I said to myself, jackass in the world that's having to do this. And then he told me later on that he had to do the same thing. So I'm here thinking, I'm the only idiot having to kind of air this stuff out and do all sorts of creative things to get it not to stink. I'm just thinking, God, I am just such a mess, and thinking I'm the only person on the planet doing that. And then that's when he shared with me his story where he had some product that came in and he was literally having to Febreze an entire, I don't know how many cartons worth of stuff he was actually having to Febreze.
It was like 15,000 pieces of clothing that, especially, China, they get a lot of rain. And if they package stuff, and you guys saw how humid it was when we were there.
Oh yeah.
That condensation just gets stuck in the plastic packaging, and if they don't do that properly, it just rots on the way over, and you get it, and it's like, oh my gosh. And like we just said, you gotta do what you gotta do. And the scarier thing is if you don't catch that and you send it in, imagine what your customers are gonna say that Amazon's gonna do. I've had Amazon shut down my listing because someone said it smelled weird. and it wasn't that. It was just a normal just smell of like the plastic. But yeah, you just want to make sure your stuff's good to go before it gets there.
Right. So can we once again thank Kevin Chan, and thank his sister Jen. I actually got to hang out with Fun Jen in Chicago just a few days ago, and she just has such a passion for for her success and for Kevin's success and for the success of her friends, and they really believe in what we're doing here at OMG. They're a big part of it. You'll actually really get to benefit heavily. I'm telling you, as I roll out the China documentary, the China product gang documentary, you're really going to get the benefit from Kevin's wisdom. He just really was incredibly generous during us filming the documentary process. We actually went in field, and you're going to really benefit from that. So we say this, I say it again and again. OMG is a city on a hill. It's a place where friends come together in Providence. Of course, OMG is also now a party on a hill. Suzanne McDowell says that we have to have almost like point counterpoint. Anytime someone says city on a hill, then somebody else should say hashtag party on a hill.
Absolutely.
little Game of Thrones reference there. Okay, great. It really is something that we're fired up about, and just bringing you more overwhelming advantages, more resources, more things to really help take you just absolutely over the top. It's a really big deal to us. And by the way, speaking of which, we have a lot of people on right now. Last night, one of the really exciting things about the webinar, speaking of OMG being a city on a hill, how cool is it that Liz has tracked down the legendary John Gill. This is John right over here in the. Actually, I think I have a screen capture of this somewhere. This is John Gill, and John Gill, because of Liz tracked John Gill down. She dragged him over to Tampa, or from Tampa to Orlando for our pre-kickoff event for the Assimilation Live tour, and John was so blown away with OMG, and Liz was trying to convince him to come over and coach for us because she felt like he really belonged. John's a legend in the Amazon world. Went from being a cop working a dangerous and frustrating career, making $25,000-$35,000 a year, and now just almost immediately making six figures per month. He's helped tons of people have success. He even helped his son have massive success on Amazon. Now he's going to be helping you. So one of the things I definitely want to do is have a let's welcome John Gill to OMG. It's just a wonderful find, and also let's thank Liz because she's just brought this incredible resource to us. Thank you, Liz. What was your thinking behind bringing John to the table?
Well, the reason I like John a lot is just because he's been through like so many things in terms of not just like professionally, but like I'm talking about he's gotten kind of almost like in a way like suckered into a lot of like products that just didn't work for him, and he was sort of just like he'll try anything, which is the thing I love about John. He takes action. At the same time, a lot of people have like promised him, oh, we can do this for your brand, we can do that for your brand, and nobody's been able to deliver. And there was some things that we kind of discussed with him for how he could like improve his brand, and immediately he was like sort of impressed by all that. But the primary reason why I just like John so much is the fact that he genuinely wants to help people, and he has so much experience. I mean, he's been through the whole vendor central bit. He's got experience selling, like dealing with people from a retail perspective, and he just has like so many. He's really well connected and has really good connections, and he genuinely wants to help people and make them get better at what they're doing. So that's the primary reason why I really like John, and I felt that he would be like a huge benefit to have in here. And it's just because, I mean, bottom line, he wants to help people. He really feels that he can truly provide value, and that's what he wants to do. And there's nobody better than that type of person to provide value than a person that's been kind of like through everything and they haven't really gotten anything out of it. So he wants to kind of fill that void and provide value from people, and he felt that OMG was like the perfect fit for him.
And speaking of, we've mentioned China a number of times. John's literally a master at sourcing in China, literally a master at it. And so we're going to get lots of information from him about that. Again, he's been through the ringer any number of times with any number, I mean, he's seen almost every trick in the book. And so it's just really great having him join our team. And I'll tell you another thing is, with OMG, we're always trying to kind of be kind of like gravitational and pull in more and more talented individuals, better software, better resources, and John has a real gravity to him. He's a legend in the Amazon world, and he's going to be able to pull stuff in, gravitationally, and get it over to, get it in front of Liz and get it in front of me and everything, and we'll be able to get it out to you. You have a hashtag gravity, because this is really a big part of the design of OMG. I mean, Liz, in terms of us getting the wonderful opportunity to have you come and join forces with us, a lot of it was the gravity of the situation. I mean, you had so much respect for Greg Morrison to begin with, from all the way back in the day when you first joined OMG, and then of course the people that Greg has attracted, like Cotton, and Jimmy and Russell and Sue, and that was how had sway with you.
Right, and I think that's kind of like you kept saying yesterday that Greg reminded you of John. I can sort of see like why. I'm actually really pumped to meet Greg in Dallas. It's like it's kind of like John. It's almost like I talked about my experience when Bryan Cranston, who played Heisenberg over on Breaking Bad. John Gill and Greg Morrison are two people that I kind of like really look up to when I was coming up, just in general, like SEO and Amazon. So in order to actually meet those two guys, it's sort of like amazing. And the thing is that they do remind me of one another, because I think both of them had like really no internet marketing experience at all. And I know John corrected me last night because I thought he had a little bit, but he actually told me that he had none whatsoever. So he went from having no market experience, heading on over to China, and then sort of figuring out things the hard way. And he went from making zero to like 400,000 in like 4 to 6 months, something ridiculous like that, where he had like zero marketing experience at all, which is sort of like amazing. So they do remind me a lot of one another. I was kind of like thinking about that. You kept saying that, and you're absolutely right. And it's like two guys that I like truly admire a ton. So I'm really looking forward to meeting Greg out in Dallas. I think anybody who has a chance to get out there and meet Greg, I don't think Greg actually comes out much. So I'm like really pumped when Greg does something, because he's kind of like lays low. He's a little different. And doesn't really like to get out there much, whereas me and you, Mike, we like to be out there. We like to talk to people. We like to hang out. And Greg's kind of more like a low-key guy.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you. It's really a delight to get to have Greg come out. The only times I've actually met him in person was one time when we were just doing the bare beginnings of when he was really just starting to have his success, like right after he quit his day job. And then at OMG Live Nashville, each of the 2 times we've done it, those are the only 3 times I've ever met Greg in person. And so, of course, Dallas is going to be huge. Also, for everybody on this event, we're going to be in Los Angeles on the 11th of July and we'll be there with Bob Proctor at the LAX Hilton. And then 1 week later, on the 18th, we're going to be in Vegas. Vegas, baby. Let's get a hashtag Vegas, baby. And that's going to be very exciting. That's actually going to be a huge, a huge Amazon event. We'll be there. We're going to try to suck Jason Fladlien into that event. We'll be at the Cromwell Hotel on the 18th at about 7:30 p.m. And that's going to be a real throwdown. We're going to try to suck everybody into that. It's going to be literally very, very, very exciting. So that's a little bit of a sneak preview of things to come. By the way, speaking of sneak previews of things to come, let me just scroll down a little bit here in the OMG NHB Team Facebook group, and let's get a sneak preview of Cotton looked like Cotton's got something literally very exciting posted here. Let's see if I can find this. Should be. Oh, look at this, man! Cotton makes it so exciting. How exciting does Cotton make? OMG! Look at this. Bombs are being dropped this week on a simulation webinar. That's going to be on the 10th. It'll be Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern, early. If you're doing client SEO, this is a webinar that will make your business explode. Beginner to advanced, we're going to cover it all. Derek Wasiak and Jake Tanner. Jake Tanner's just hit his first $100,000 month this last month. Join me to discuss living their life in a day of $1 million plus agency. If you're excited about this type of hashtag, type in hashtag bombs drop below. So let's find this thread. It's just a little bit further down in the OMG NHP team, and do hashtag what is it? Hashtag drop bombs. Hashtag drop bombs. I'd love to see everybody. We've got well over 100 people live right now. Most everybody here has access to this. Let's get a bunch of hashtag drop bombs. Cotton was actually the person to really get in there and recruit Liz into OMG, and you see the chain reaction that's led to. It's been literally very, very exciting. Cotton's last assimilation webinar. Did you see, Liz? He had over 3,000 comments.
Wow, that's unbelievable. Cotton is really good at getting interaction. He's really good at dropping bombs too. So that's certainly something that I look forward to.
Something that by the way, everybody should attend this event. I'll tell you this. John Gill was talking about it last night. He's literally got so many factories at this point that he works with in China who are wanting him now, wanting him to join forces with him, and get him to roll out their other brands on Amazon. And Jack Harvell's talked about that as well, taking the blinders off and being able literally to roll things out where you can join forces with factory owners. And so really, you're just getting so much value when you understand. Listen, guys, it's never been easier to make money, because once you are making your first few bucks, we saw several people. We saw, for example, David Fripp just posted this. This is David Fripp joining forces with a factory, with a product creator in his native UK, and that's what's coming of it. It's profit, money is rolling in, and this is exciting. That you got to take the blinders off, and we have this real value going on. A real excitement. Once you can do one thing, once you can do a little bit of retail arbitrage, just like Era did here. We also saw Shauna just posted. Once you're in the game, you're in the game. Let's go back to our NHB, or let's go back to our Amazon thread. I hope everyone sees this. I just want you to get in the game. Hashtag in the game. Hashtag in the game, because we really, Liz, part of the thing that's so exciting about retail arbitrage, and Kev was saying this as well, you're in the game. You're in the game. Your intelligence increases so quickly. You're learning how to operate the back office of Amazon. You're just literally becoming hyper intelligent, learning what's really going on. You're in the game.
Right, and not just that, but you're building confidence, which there's nothing that can replace when you have this level of confidence. It's just unbelievable. People are usually so timid just to put up a product, and they kind of think of all the bad things that can happen. By doing retail arbitrage, you kind of avoid all that, because you're selling somebody else's product who's already done all the marketing. And then once you get those first few sales, it sort of gives you this amazing burst of confidence, and you feel like you can conquer the world, which is exactly what most people need, because then they see that it works, and it gives them that belief that it can work. And so now they're super gung-ho, and they're ready to just get started and do their own product. So I think that's the real key as to why I really love retail arbitrage, because it really gave me that confidence to see, oh, this works. Because in fact, when I first started, I would buy stuff, and my mom would be like, this is never going to sell. How are people paying it for that kind of, she kind of thought that, and it kind of
took a couple purchases and then a couple like sales for her to start to realize like then her attitude changed to like, oh, wow, I can't believe people are actually paying to this, to now she's like, oh my God, we're going to make a killing on this. So it just kind of goes to show like her progression, her confidence level, whereas most people are going to start like her, sort of just like, oh, this is never going to work. Because we hear that all the time from people that just aren't entrepreneurs, that'll never work. And a lot of us let those type of people like sway us from doing something. And my mom is actually one of those types of people, but luckily I'm nothing like that in terms of like my attitude about what will work and what won't. I will try anything just to see if it works. That's the great thing about me. Like Susan said, I test everything. So if you tell me that I can't do something, you better believe that I'm going to try to do it. And that's why when I started to do that, her confidence started to build off of that. And she became from like a person that was like, no, that won't work, to now she's like, oh my God, we're going to crush this. So it was just like that building of her confidence progressively built up because of the fact that she gained confidence from just selling like retail arbitrage.
You actually did an interview with Bob Proctor, and he was talking to you, and you actually brought up a story from your mom, that she was out doing a product sourcing technique, and that sourcing technique was retail arbitrage, and she came back home like she literally excited with this product in hand, and she's like, we can do this as a private label product. It turned into a $10,000 a month product.
Right, and it's actually a product that I had a lot of trouble sourcing in China because we were getting it here locally, but I finally was able to find a really good supplier, and it's worked out really well. But yeah, now she's kind of like, she looks for private label opportunities. She's not even looking for like, every now and then she'll do like a retail arbitrage thing. Like she was at Tuesday Morning the other day ago, and she called me up and she's like, they've got this like mixer, I don't know what they had, and scanning up, she was just out there scanning, and I was like, okay, sounds good, just grab them. So she was just calling me up with her retail arbitrage stuff, but now when she's out there at the stores, she's actually coming up with some pretty good private label opportunities that she sees out in the store. So again, it's all about like her confidence that was built up from just starting to sell anything.
Yeah, I gave a hashtag confidence, but really, once again, like I want everyone to get this. Like, went through all those highs and lows, but what ultimately got you on the track that you're on, it was doing retail arbitrage.
Yeah, absolutely. Without retail arbitrage, I think there's an echo. But
Are you getting an echo?
is anyone else hearing that echo?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You are hearing
It's
an echo?
bad.
Definite.
Yeah, okay, I think it went away now. But without retail arbitrage, that confidence would have never been built up. And it's sort of like scary when people tell you, okay, you're going to get a private label product and you're going to have to do like an MOQ of 500 or 1,000, and so you're going to have to spend $3,000 right out of the gate just on getting the product. Then you have to worry about which freight do I use? Do I use sea freight? Do I use Air Express? What do I do? What the hell is EXW? And so then you got to try to figure that out and figure out how to get it. And then you got to try to figure out, am I going to send it to my house? Where else do I send it? Because we don't know about places like Kevin and Jen. And so it's all like almost this like huge puzzle that's like super scary, and you sort of have to figure it out, and you're expecting a person that has no experience with this at all to try to figure it out. And then you've got to go into Amazon and figure out how to send stuff into Amazon. And I know I was telling Kev this funny story, but I don't even know how to send stuff into Amazon because I always had my brother do it. Like I can't figure that out. There's no way that I would be able to tell how to send something into Amazon. Without my brother, I would be like totally lost because I just have never had to do that. So it's sort of like then you've got to expect a beginner to send that stuff in and then figure out like all these other different things that go into it. And with retail arbitrage, we sort of already got that training, like step by step, and we got that confidence. So then when we got our own product, it was like, okay, this is simple. Now I know how to do all this. So that's kind of how it like progressed for me.
All right. Well, I got to tell you, first of all, I think the echo may have been coming on my end, so if needs be, I'll switch over to a headset. But we're probably pretty close to wrapping up here. I kind of a little bit blew myself out last night on that very emotional webinar. And everyone should keep in mind, one of the things that Liz has done that's just literally extraordinary is opening up the Amazon Facebook group in a way where you're just constantly getting your questions answered. She's such an example. Tyler's been in there answering questions. Mike Bittler is in there answering questions. Susan Ann McDowell's in there answering questions. Now Kevin Chon is jumping in. So I mean, it's just unbelievable. OMG is a city on a hill. It's friends helping friends. We've covered such incredible topics today. We've really started hammering home what's going on with retail arbitrage. We've opened up a whole can of worms with this brute force technique, and Kevin, has just revealed this wonderful new service. It's exclusive for OMGers. Liz is endorsing this. I'm endorsing this. It's an OMG exclusive. This is at riversourcelogistics.com/OMG. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put myself on mute, but what I want to do is just get the last words from everybody who's been generous enough with their time to come on this event. Let me see if I think unfortunately we lost Mandy because I think she had somewhere where she had to be. So I'll start with Susan Ann McDowell. Any last words?
No, other than I guess I just answered a question in here, and my advice to anybody would be bold, take action. You've got to dive in with both feet, and if you're thinking of doing the brute force method with a giveaway, don't be shy. Is what I would say. Be bold.
Yeah, and people can contact you about that, and you can actually help them with the giveaway with your service, which you've been wonderful with. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
All right, tremendous. Okay, Kev, any last words for folks?
I just probably want to just reinforce that. I think just from what I'm hearing today and just a lot of other just things I'm reading and studying is, I think the root of inaction is fear. And if you're not taking action, you got to be honest and true to yourself and ask yourself why. And deep down inside, I think the result is always fear. So just take on the attitude and be like, there's no reason to be afraid. I'm not going to be afraid. I have an overwhelming advantage, even being in OMG. Like even literally, I know you guys are in like hundreds of other groups, but go in there and ask a question. Most of the gurus will not answer. You got like top tier Amazon sellers and SEO professionals that are literally responding to the questions you're posting in here. Like that is crazy. That's a true advantage. So as you guys just finish your day today, like understand that you guys have an advantage. There's nothing to fear. It's about taking action and just do it. There's like the Shia LaBeouf video that's going viral, where he's just screaming, just do it, and it's funny, but it's so true. Take action.
Awesome. Yep. Here's the OMG Amazon Plus Community Mastermind. It's just Liz with her leadership. She's quarterbacking this whole Amazon thing for us. She's made it nuts. She has just turned it into the greatest show on earth. It's literally incredible. We're hunting unicorns every day in here and really making it happen. Bringing dreams to life. So Liz, bring things home.
Yeah, I just wanted to echo exactly what they said, but add into that, like, I'm literally giving you guys the exact strategy that I'm using. I mean, there is like no better golden nugget. Pretty soon, you're going to start to hear people that claim to be gurus talking about this and trying to take credit for it. When Susan Ann McDowell just told you literally the moment that I came up with it and how it kind of came into my lap. And again, a lot of people say, wow, like you run so good. You got so lucky when you played poker and everything like that. But I keep telling people, the harder I work, the luckier I get. Stuff like this just drops in my lap because I'm out there testing. And then I turn around and I share it with you guys first. And a lot of people actually that are within my inner circle were like, you're nuts to be sharing this. I don't understand why you're going to go and tell everybody that this works. But the reason I'm telling you this is because I want you to do it and I want you to be successful, because I want you to just get out there and literally tell people that it's all inside of OMG, what we're actually doing. And one of the interesting facts is that really, like, we just told There's still about 130 people left on this webinar. 95% of you are never going to do it, unfortunately. The other 5% might think about it, but there's actually going to be 1% that go out there and do it, and they're just going to crush it, and they're going to love us forever. And that's part of the reason why, like Kevin said and Susan said, you have to sort of like, I don't know what Susan had said, you have to have balls to try this out. What's the absolute worst thing that could happen if you tried it out? It's just not going to work, right? It's not like you're breaking any rules. It's not like you're doing anything black hat. It's all within the rules. It's making people perceive that your product is worth a lot more than what it actually is. And it's also catapulting you in the rankings. So you really have no excuse other than just get out there and just give it a shot. And trust me, you will be so happy once you do.
All right, we're out here in OMG hunting unicorns every day. Unicorn's a lucky animal. The harder I work, the luckier I get. That's what Liz says. So let's post your unicorn stickers for Liz here.
There's nothing like unicorns, right?
Nothing like hunting unicorns, guys. The harder I work, the luckier I get. Hashtag the harder I work, the luckier I get. And you know, the one thing I'll say is that OMG is a very special place. Oh wow, I didn't even know there's an OMG unicorn. That's unbelievable. So the thing is that actually I believe that a lot of people here are going to take action with at least one element that you've learned here. You know,